Well, hello, children. How's everything today? Yes. So, I'm doing another story time. So, yesterday I did a self-tape for, what was it? American Graffiti. Because it's about a radio station, I wanted to talk about some of my life experiences similar to this. So let's get into this. I don't know if you know, I grew up in Northern Virginia in a little town called Woodbridge. I went to Fredland Middle School and later Woodbridge High School. And we were lucky enough that we had some productions things while I was in school. I mean, we had a radio station in my middle school. My thing with that, it was very, 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 very short-lived. I remember the teacher when he gave us the rundown on how important it is that we don't broadcast dead air, and I don't know what the FCC rules are on that, but he did. He showed us how to work the switches and shit, but I swear to God, it was like a 5-minute speech, and I guess he expected that we had it, and for me, went in one ear, went right out the other one, and so I remember when I went to go run the studio myself, be a DJ, whatever. So I go in there. I've got my little cassette tapes, because back in the 90s, we used to play music on CDs and cassette tapes. So I had a big thing of cassettes and some things that I was going to say about school and whatever. Not bad things, but like just different things going on around the school. Swear to God, I'm in there for 5 minutes. Apparently we were broadcasting dead air. And by the way, you would think the teacher would have been there to make sure that we were doing it the right way. And he did not. Then, I remember like 5 minutes later, they kicked us out of the fucking studio. So, there was that. Disappointing. So that was the end of my career as a radio DJ, whatever. Here's one. I promised I wasn't going to get dark, but you know how things are. I mean, hey, it was okay. You chose me to let that happen around me, Okay, so in high school, we were one of the few schools that were lucky enough to have a television productions studio. I was in television productions for 1 year. I learned how to work at the time, it was a state-of-the-art television camera, very much like what they use in TV stations. At the time, I think it was like a $10,000 piece of equipment. I learned how to run. Our audio mixer was actually very rudimentary compared to some of the things that I see them running when they're doing behind the scenes stuff. But yes, I do know how to run an audio mixer. And I was a PA, for those that don't know, that's production assistant, which I really didn't like doing PA because he gave us a whole formula for, all the cordage and different things that we needed to carry for whatever shoot we were doing. And, we would do shoots for sports events and the band and just different things, the school events, that also went in one ear and out the other. And honestly, it doesn't really matter because now the equipment's so much more advanced. And, it's like the kind of shoots that if I was doing professional shoots, like as a PA, I imagine that it would just be an entirely different thing than what I learned in high school in the mid-90s, you know. So, I mean, yeah, there's that. The year after I left, my younger brother had heard the things that I said about this class. I liked our teacher so much. He was a really good teacher. That my brother and his best friend, Dave McPhillips, took the class. Dave McPhillips is the one that actually first introduced me to cigar smoking. He had me try punches. You know, for those of you that know cigars, a little known brand, but they're pretty good. But hey, we're getting off topic. So the year that my younger brother and his friend were in there, there was like some kind of school project. Yeah. One of the students decided to do something about, I guess, safe sex, whatever, something that involved condoms. There was a video where there was a student that was scantily clad, I guess you would say. Nothing lewd, nothing like this, or at least the story I've been given by everyone involved and the police and the news and everything else. No, it wasn't anything like that. But so school board calls it teacher. His name was Darren Jensen. You can actually look up the article. It's from 1996. Called him in, suspended him, right? And then later fired him because they felt like he should have reported it immediately, even though the student... It was a male student, and apparently he was just in there farting around with his fucking camera, right? Yeah, so they later fired him. They blamed him for the whole thing. And I want to preface all of this with, I had never seen this man have an inappropriate relationship with a student. My brother and his friend, his best friend at the time, never saw him have an inappropriate relationship with a student. None of us did. A lot of people thought that he was their favorite teacher. So anyway, back on story. His wife left him. Took the kids. Probably kicked him the fuck out of the house. Right? And he did an interview where he had made mention that he went into a mental facility because he was just so fucked up over it all. By the way, none of it was his fault. None of it was his fault. And he later killed himself. He locked himself in a hotel in Dumfries, Virginia, and he shot himself. And I remember, right, when I got this news, like when I found out, like I was kind of fucked up over it. And my brother and my friend, like it interrupted the school year for them because they were still actively in his class. But anyway, so the day came where we all went to his funeral. Me and my brother and his friend, like we all got dressed up in our suits. And we were sitting in the side yard of my parents' house, smoking a joint, whatever. We were getting ready to go pay our respects. And my mom caught us, and, well, she was always on a bitch mission. I'm not kidding. My mom is a very selfish person. So she catches us with the joints, snatches it away from me, stomps it out, goes back in the house. So I go and I pick it back up. I relight it. We start passing it around. She comes out, catches us again. and says something to the effect that she might not allow us to go to this funeral. Because whatever the fuck reason. I don't know. I don't know what was going on in this woman's head. But anyway, so, you know, we did go. I actually drove us. And it was just weird. It was a whole weird vibe because it was a lot of its students that went there for that. I kind of wonder what the people involved thought about it, you know? You know, like the student that made the videotape and, you know, everything. But the weird thing was his wife and his kids went to the funeral, even though, you know, whatever. And I know with a lot of the people that, you know, were his students, whatever, the sentiment was that we really didn't like her because it seems like she left him at the time that he needed her most. I doubt that I would have gotten those the kind of experiences with, you know, doing TV or theater or film or any of that kind of shit, if not for Darren Jensen. So it's really a shame the way that all worked out. Yeah. I guess it's, I don't know. But anyway, I guess that's all I have for story time today. I hope everyone has a good day.